Welcome to The Vinyl Guide, the podcast for record collectors and music nerds. Here's your host, the biggest record nerd of them all, Nate Goyer.
Well, hey everyone, it's Nate. Welcome to episode 539 of The Vinyl Guide, the podcast for record collectors and music nerds. And dear people, you are going to bless your ears today because you are going to be hearing the dulcet tones of our good friend, Bill Plaster of Dr. Strange Records. Now, if you don't know, Dr. Strange Records is a store in Alta Loma, California. It's a record label, and above all, it's an attitude. Bill is the steward of the ship, creator, head honcho, and Mac Daddy of Dr. Strange Records, and the brainchild of the Summer Bash Music Festival taking place in Pomona, California, May 23rd and 24th, Memorial Day weekend. And Bill discusses it all today and the wild time it will be, as well as he talks about his history with music, the store, record labels, and record collecting. And I, for one, always enjoy hanging out at Dr. Strange Records when I go to California, and you can enjoy them too every Wednesday and Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific time for Live Strange on Instagram. It's one of my secrets for grabbing rare and collectible vinyl. So if you tune into Dr. Strange, Live Strange, Wednesdays and Fridays, he's drinking beer, he's showing records, you can bid on them, and it's a great way to beef up your collection with some fantastic records. So follow them on Instagram at Dr. Strange Records and join in on the Live Strange fun. Now, I've booked my flights. I'm planning to be at the Dr. Strange Summer Bash on Memorial Day weekend. And from what I understand, many folks, punk and vinyl maniacs alike, are planning to be at the Summer Bash as well. It's kind of like a family reunion for fans and collectors of punk music. So links are in this episode page for Summer Bash tickets. Go grab yours, and I hope to see you there. Alrighty, peoples, let's dial into Alta Loma, California, and talk to Bill Plaster of Dr. Strange Records. Well, look at there. How are you, handsome?
I'm good. Good to see you.
And you as well. Just a few more weeks, well, a month or so, I think, from now. How many days? What's the day count?
For what?
Between now and Summer Bash.
Oh, God, I don't know. What, 5 weeks? 5 weeks? About 5 weeks. It's going to be May 23rd.
May 23rd. Well, as people who are listening will probably recognize the voice, Mr. Bill Plaster, or Dr. Strange, that you may know from Live Strange or the store in Alta Loma, California, joining us to talk punk rock.
And there's the Rod. That's the guy that dropped all the Rare Misfits records at Right Fest.
Hey, Rod, let me know if I can get you a drum set or anything.
Right? I know. I hired the handicaps. Yes. You're welcome. It wouldn't be strange without things like that.
That's all right.
And my small dick.
Oh, it's not small. It's just right. It's perfect size for a kitten.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Bill, wonderful to see you again. I'm looking forward to seeing you in 3 dimensions here at the Summer Bash.
I saved you a seat. Boom, right here.
Oh, excellent. All right.
Yes. And we are going to hang out with the Effigies at my place. Me, you, and the Effigies.
All in one bed like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
If you play your cards right.
So I think a lot of people know you from your shop, from your Live Strange a couple times a week, or just you just being the personality that puts himself out there. Tell me a little bit about the concept of the Summer Bash, because this came about because of a vacuum from Punk Rock Bowling this year, yeah?
Yes, and the vacuum is sucking even harder if you've been watching the news. Not for us, but yeah, it all happened because the Stern brothers, Sean and Mark, that do Punk Rock Bowling, which is a great thing. They've been doing it for 25 years. I always look forward to going to it. It's a blast. And then they decided not to do it. So I'm like, oh, that sucks. At first, I thought it may be like a health condition. So I asked him. He said, no, it's just the atmosphere, politics, not being able to get people into the country. Last year, they had 1,000 people, just customers, participants that couldn't get in. And now, the bans because of visas. And then coupled with where it was located, that's going to be a parking lot now, right? So they can't even do it there. And one of the sister hotels, the Grand, they're in, I guess it's called receivership. They're trying to stay in business. So all these things just happen. I'm like, oh, that sucks. Because I know a lot of people look forward to it, myself included. So I thought, well, why can't I do something? Not on that level, but why not do something that people can go to and hang out? So that's what this Doctor Strange Records Summer Bash is. And I got in touch with Gallo, who's a new friend, but he runs the Fox Theater. And just briefly, Fox Theaters were around in the 20s, I think, all throughout the U.S. They're beautiful places. There's one in Pomona, there's one in Riverside, but all throughout the country. They're super nice, ornate. So he runs that, and he still does big bands like Social Distortion and Wet Leg and, national acts. Up the street from that is called the Cathedral. And I remember this place going to Toxic Shock Records in the early 80s because it was down Gary, and Toxic Shock is a stone's throw away. One of the locations of Toxic was there. It's a 4-story YMCA building built in the teens or 1921. I think it's 1921. It's beautiful. He put in over $1 million, actually way more than that, to refurbish this place, or his investor did. And now he's having shows. He's an old punk guy from Chicago, so he loves the Blow Eagles and Naked Ray Gun and the Effigies. But now he lives here, and with his help, I talked to him and I said, well, allow me to pick the bands. You're the bank, and I don't want any money for it. I got the rod. We have everything that we need to do it. And then it just started getting better and better and better. And I'm just picking out bands that I like and people that I like, and bands that will bring, a big response. And that is exactly what this is. It's 2 days of kick-ass bands. And I have the list right here in front of me whenever you want to see
I've seen the lineup. It's what? So it's the Saturday and the Sunday. What is that? May 22nd, 23rd?
3rd and 24th.
23rd and 24th. Excellent. Okay. Yeah. All right. Walk us through the lineup, if you will.
Yeah. Well, I typed them out because there's so many, and I didn't put them in any order. But we got the Effigies, Lower Class Brats, Voodoo Glow Skulls, Sloppy Seconds, Powerflex 5, which is a local band, but it's an old friend, Salva, the pro skater, Steve Salva, whatever, Pipeline guy. We've got Thrasher Magazine to show up, mostly probably because of him, and Voodoo, the Venomous Pinks, Knuckleheads, Spunk, Playboy Man Baby, which I really love. I saw them in punk rock bowling. I'm like, at first I'm like, what the fuck is this? Then I'm like, fuck yeah, this is fucking awesome. That's what this is. So they're gonna play Fantasy Lane. They're from Mentone, which is 30 miles into Nowheresville, but they're really cool. They're more like a Motorhead type of band. DI, I got the Skulls to come back. The Mainliners, the Crowd, the Berserkers, Narcoleptic Youth, Hellflowers, which Billy Bones from the Skulls said, Bill, get these guys to play. They're really good. They're a female-fronted vocalist band for fans of the Epoxies, which probably don't mean a lot to anyone, but she can actually sing. Rhythm Collision, whatever's coming out. Gallo, he's a good guy. He's an old friend of the store. He does like darkwave stuff, and he's from Riverside. He's good. The Broken Cuffs, Orange Grove Massacre, the Grimm, the Voids, Dr. No, the Penetrators, Downhill Jam. Did I mention Zoinks? The Freeze, Channel 3, the Hardyville Stranglers, which is Frank from Voodoo, his other band. The Penetrators, which are the three brothers from Voodoo, just minus Frank, not doing like ska stuff, but just really good. Both are good. Decry, whatever, from Ohio. Trap Girl, they're really cool. They play the store. They're just like a brutal, like, fuck you in your face, but they're really, really good. K-Crush is a member of the Crowd and Shattered Faith. Knuckleheads, Downhill Jam, Jagged Baptist Pill. I think I got them all.
That's a huge lineup. Huge for 2 days.
Stellar.
God, was it?
It is.
Yeah, that's going to be a packed day both those days.
I think so.
So, and the lineup I think is still changing. A little bit of wet paint on it, perhaps. Yeah.
It's dry. It's dry. We're just waiting for one of the checks to clear, and for one of the bands, which should be tomorrow, and then we can release the whole bit.
Oh,
that's the only frustrating part with this, is not being able to, because I've never done something like this, so I really don't know how things work. But dealing with agents, which are basically used car salesmen. It's like they always want something more, which I understand. They're working for their bands, but they're working for themselves. And it's like, well, these are my buddies. I know them for 30 years, a lot of these bands. But so you have to deal with that and egos and all that stuff. But it all works out in the end. And me and the Rod, we're ready. And we have been ready for months. But we have to do things a certain way. Like, well, don't announce this until this. One thing does the other. And it's all new to me. So I'm learning, which is great. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
What a maiden voyage you're setting off on here.
Yeah, and there are plans to continue doing this too.
Oh yeah. Oh, excellent. Yeah. All right. So it may be an annual thing. Who knows? We'll see how it goes, but hopefully
that's the plan. But I'd never want to compete with Sean or Mark Stern with Punk Rock Bowling. But I don't know. That's up in the air. We got Todd. He's involved and he does all the Punk Rock Bowling like sponsorships, and which I have nothing to do with, but he's going to get waters and beers and get money for the venue. And so he knows what he's doing. He's been doing that for 15 years.
Okay. So you see an opportunity. You see there's no Punk Rock Bowling. There's an empty spot on the calendar. What's your first phone call besides Rod, perhaps? Where do you start putting a festival together?
God, I don't know. It was actually really easy. And overall, it's been pretty seamless. There's going to be hiccups and stuff, but it's nothing like I was expecting. It's time consuming for sure. But I think the first band I asked the Skulls. That was the band. I'm like, hey, would you guys be interested? Because I was hanging out with them or James from the Skulls at Punk Rock Bowling. And, so he's in, Kevin from Green Day. Kevin started in the Skulls and now he's one of the guitar players for Green Day. So we had to make sure he had that weekend off. So he's all excited. He's like, oh yeah. I'm way more excited about playing with the Skulls on this one because it's like a family reunion,
Yeah.
And then once they fell into place, that allowed other bands. Oh, then the Effigies, because they're friends. We hung out with them at Riot Fest. I have his number. It just kind of felt, and then one of the Bull Weevils, of course, I wanted the Bull Weevils, but Daryl has twin kids and they graduate that weekend. So they'll do the next one.
Okay.
It just really fell into place because I have like a huge list of people that I respect and as people and bands like Channel 3, they're on the label and it was pretty easy. Okay. And so many bands just keep, for lack of a better word, bugging. Can we play? We'll play for nothing. We'll do this. We'll give the Rod a hand job. I'm like, that's my job. That's my job, baby. So it was really easy getting bands.
All right. So you hear the opportunity, you reach out to a couple friends, say, if I was to do something about this date, you got a couple yeses, then it started to barrel roll. When was it? Was there a holy shit moment like this is getting huge?
Well, it kind of seems like that every single week. I mean, everything's already done because I think we started doing this in November, right? Yeah, we started talking to them in November, right when I heard about Punk Rock Bowling. It's taken that long, with Christmas and stuff. But every single month or every single week, it's like, oh, this band wants it. And now they're getting in touch with me and us. Like, can we do it? But no one said no. Everyone was into it. Every single band that we asked, except for the Bull Weevils, only because they couldn't do it. They're like, yeah, I'm in. I want to do this. It was pretty easy. And the prices they are asking are totally fair. I want to be fair to everyone because they're buddies. And that's one of the reasons that we don't take any money. No money. We have a table, right? Like a vending table. Mm-hmm. So, but I'm paying for the posters and we're going to do post and pay the artist for, so that's all on me, which is totally fine. So yeah, it's been super cool. It's been really easy.
Oh, fantastic. So it seems like a very interesting moment. The Stern brothers, Punk Rock Bowling, must have foreseen the future because we've seen the cancellations now of Punk in the Park and that whole thing.
For different reasons.
Yeah. What do you think is that sort of impact of the Punk in the Park on the Summer Bash or even on future festivals?
Yeah. Well, that's one thing. It really makes me angry about this whole protesting Punk in the Park because to me, I don't care, who you support and who you don't support, as long as you support somebody. And you're really just glomming on, you meaning sheeple that don't think things through. So, I asked, well, how many people are employed when Punk in the Park is a thing? It's around 150 to 200 people. Many of those people we know, I know, and they're all really nice people. Those bands good people. Some of those bands, this is how they pay their rent. I don't want to say who, but it's big bands, and like they need this. And not to be too patriotic, but a lot of people died for people's rights to have an opinion, to vote. And I'm obviously on the other side, but I'll drive that guy to the voting booth. I'll try to convince him otherwise, but his right is to donate to whoever he wants. He wants to vote for Trump or the Republican Party, or who cares? $200. There's so much hypocrisy in that. And it's a shame. And that's, the expression of cutting your nose to spite your face. I think that's exactly what people are doing. And they're being very reactionary and not thinking things through. It's McCarthyism. Mm-hmm. And that was wrong. It's wrong on both sides. Middle of the road, just, be smart and protest with your vote. Protest with your vote. And there's another one coming up here, the midterm elections. That's how you win. That's how you change things. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I like everyone. I don't have to agree with them. My mom is a good example. Republican, religious. I'm just the opposite, but we both want the same thing. We want what's best for not only the country, for the world. Different paths to get there.
So the bands that have jumped off the Punk in the Park, has there been any knocking on your door about being able to join the Summer Bash, or is that the ship has sailed on that?
The ship has already sailed. I don't think any of those bands, there's so many bands that haven't asked, but I don't think, none of those guys have asked. And a lot of them are friends. But yeah, no one yet.
Okay.
It's too late. It's too late. There's a huge list of bands, like good bands. Oh, we'll play. We'll do it for nothing. If anyone drops out, let us know.
Okay. What's the most complicated thing about putting a festival together like this?
Dealing with agents and money, and not to me, having a label as well. It's like, if you have a manager, especially back then, I won't give you the time of day, because that's not my mentality. Handshakes are what it's all about. Although I've been screwed on that a couple times, but dealing with the bands directly, especially in this situation, it's like a lot of these bands, I put the records out and I deal with them. And I talk to them and I send them shit pictures on my phone and dick pics and everything else. But I understand they have an agreement and they had to abide by that agreement. So now I deal with their booking agent, and it's just a different thing. And that's fine. You just have to go back and forth and negotiate. Like, I'm asking for $1,000. Well, will you do it for 800? Then you compromise on 900 or whatever the case is, because he needs his percentage and blah, blah, blah. Whatever. It's just not my world. But I know the correct way is doing it the way they're doing it.
Yeah.
I'm just stubborn.
Yeah. Over the last few years, just Dr. Strange has kind of been showing up at different events, building that profile bit by bit. This is kind of one of the cornerstones of the Doctor Strange. Yeah. Did you think a few years ago that a festival would be possible?
No. Well, I want to say the Rod is responsible for all that insanity. Our numbers continue to grow. I'm such a anti-tech guy. I still have a rotary phone. This is on a teleprompter right now. I have no idea what we're doing. No, he's the one that does all the social media. I have stupid ideas and he makes them acceptable and funny. But as far as doing a festival, I never thought of it. But I'm not surprised doing it, because like I mentioned before, I don't want any money from it. Money's good. I understand it. It's necessary, but I get off. My thing about pleasure is doing a well-executed plan, having a challenge, and this is the big challenge, and accomplishing it. And that's cool. But then after this, we'll move on to something else. Another festival, another gig, or whatever the case is. I just can't stand sitting around doing nothing. No matter what it is, I got to do something. And this is a big one.
I saw a video someone posted, I think in the Doctor Strange anniversary recently, where someone said Bill's responsible for helping a lot of kids that may have not had parental guides or anything like that. You've been a big influence in the punk rock community. It's always been something I've admired about you, that you do things, you lead with your heart, you do things for the good of the community, and good stuff happens. It comes back in various ways.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, being humble, you got to think globally, act locally. And that's just my upbringing. Treat people the way you want to be treated. And yeah, there's been a lot of examples, and I wrote about some of them in my book, where I think I was able to turn a couple people. Some people didn't, and they're no longer with us, and other people have, and they are with us, or they didn't do something bad, like a school shooting. And I don't mean that in a joke at all. I mean, like, there was one guy I was really worried about. So it's just basically giving people the time of day, and it's not always easy because sometimes I'm exhausted or I have fatigue and I have other problems, physical problems. But you got to do that. You got to put on that face. And it's not really a face. It's not an act. It's very sincere. Give them a hand up and just let them know that you really care. Because I know a lot of people live in a situation where they don't feel that way. I've always known that from my mom and my sisters and even my dad that they cared, and that goes miles, and it gives you confidence. But other people, they're kicked down physically, mentally, emotionally all the time. And I see those guys, man, all the time, and they say thanks, and it means the world to me. That's what punk rock is, trying to change someone's life for the better.
Mm-hmm. And there's no telling when just a positive word or gesture will change not only someone's day, but even their perspective on things, give them a bit of hope.
Oh yeah. And I mean, you see it at the store, we're brutal in a funny way. We make fun of people, but I only make fun of people that can take it, for the most part. I've been wrong a couple times that I'll lay off, but if you're cool and you can take it, and they understand, and they feel like, oh, that's cool, he's making fun of me in a good way, in a funny way.
Yeah.
And they become part of your family, and the family's huge. And the Doctor Strange family, like, one of the old slogans is, our disease is spreading. It is spreading, and that's a lot because of my herpes, but it's also because it's just getting people to be part of that family. And they come in all the time and hang out, and it's like a social thing.
Yeah. You don't punch down, but you punch sideways a lot.
Fuck yeah.
All right, so your book, My
Life,
yeah,
there you go. You got the pizza cover.
Yeah, I do.
I forgot.
As I call it, the Third Testament. So early in life, what was your first punk recollection? How did you discover punk? And do you remember your first record? Your first punk record?
Well, yeah, it depends how you say what punk rock is, of course. But the early punk records, well, my first punk recollection is hanging out, and he's mentioned in the book, with my buddy Glenn, which I've known since third grade, and I'm back in touch with him, and that was such a good thing because he went his way, I went mine because he's Mormon, but we got back in touch. So I talked to him all the time, and he had a brother a couple years older, so he was more into punk. So I'd go to his house, and they're well off. The dad was a dentist and the mom was a nurse. So they had like a VCR before anyone had VCRs. And we're watching like videos of Devo or the B-52s and, more like new wave bands or like gateway bands. So I remember buying a Devo record at probably the Warehouse, which is a big chain store. But the first punk records I ever bought, I do remember that. It was at Licorice Pizza, which is another chain store. I got a Damned, just because it looked cool, Damned 7-inch, a Buzzcock 7-inch, and an XTC 7-inch. Probably like an 80. I was 15. Yeah, right about then. And that kind of put me on the road. And, people have to remember, especially people watching this, there was no internet. You use a typewriter. I took typing class in high school. There's no social media, obviously. But sometimes you forget that, people. And the way you found out about bands was just word of mouth. Like you saw someone, but you might be intimidated. If they look cool, you don't want to be a poser because you get your ass kicked. So you figure out what are they into, what shirts are they wearing, and you buy a record and you see a thank you list. Well, if they like these bands, I might like them too. So it just kind of branched out from there. So yeah, but those three are the first. I was really into new wave, like Suburban Lawns and D-Day and the Waitresses, and even those bands. Like when I was getting into it, were kind of shunned from the punks. It was very, regimental. Like you are this, and this, and things don't mix. If you mix, you get your ass kicked. If you're a mod, you get your ass kicked. You have long hair, you get your ass kicked at a gig. If you don't fit in, you're going to get beat up. And that was 100% true.
That was one thing I in reading your book, you're talking a lot about the violence at the shows and the punk gangs, like the Lads, etc. And that's a perspective I don't think I've heard that much before. So that was something that was fueling the community at the time. So you had to be very careful about who you overtly supported. Yeah.
Oh, it was crazy, especially with suicidal tendencies. They ruined the scene. And a lot of the bands, like when U3A changed their name to the Brigade and changed their music, that was one of the reasons. 7 Seconds, they changed their music. Uniform Choice, he let his hair grow out and kind of changed their music. And that was because of gangs like suicidal tendencies. And a lot of people, I'd go to a gig almost every single weekend. But it got to the point where I'm going every month. I still would go a lot, but half the time, or more than half the time, I'm not looking up at the band. I'm looking behind my back to see who's behind me. And luckily, they never picked on me just for dumb luck. But I've seen that happen so many times. People getting kicked, stabbed. Fenders in Long Beach was a bad place. They had the Samoans and the suicidal tendencies. That's where suicidal was from, that area. Yeah, and then that gave rise to other gangs to counteract. And I mentioned that in the book, like Unity, anti-Nazi, anti-skinhead, Unity. And they started off in a good way, and they would search them out and they would beat them up. It just gets worse and worse, and stabbing this, and just like, oh man, I don't want to belong to this. I still went, but it was way scarier. It's way scarier. And I'm sure those guys are still out there.
That's interesting. Even today, you still have kind of one bit of your brain that's thinking something could happen.
It could. Yeah, it could. But a lot of those guys, they went to jail, they became Peckerwoods, or they're dead, or, I don't know. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. I see some of those guys come in.
It's like they were just using punk rock as an excuse to just be assholes.
Yeah.
You ever get yourself in any close calls? Ever fear for your life?
Oh, yeah, one time at Spanky's. That's a good one. Spanky's is a precursor to the Showcase. And some guy from Egypt, Izat, such a good guy. And Spanky's, he had, like, the first time I ever saw Mighty Mighty Boss Tones played there, and No Doubt played there, and Voodoo played there. I had a Dr. Strange Records night with Guttermouth and Voodoo and Face to Face and Let's Eat Lots, which is a local band. But he broke so many big bands, like national acts. He had them play at Spanky's, which was a restaurant in downtown Riverside. So Guttermouth was playing, and they had this feud with a band called HFL, Hard, Fast, and Loud, both bands from Huntington Beach, both bands questionable in their politics. And the HFL guys were there. I'd always sell records outside of the front door, outside of the venue, just selling 7 inches of the bands that I put out. And some kid said, hey, fuck Nazis. And then the next thing you know, he gets stabbed right in front of me. I'm like, oh, all hell starts breaking loose. Thank God Izot came out and scared him away. I don't know how, but he did. But
jeez,
yeah, that was like the guy right next to me got stabbed.
I mean, how do you continue? You still just cover up the records and move on?
You're like, because you kind of deny what you just saw. You're like, oh my God, some guy just got stabbed and he's on the ground, and here come the paramedics, and these guys still are going to come back and shoot. And all I was like, what the fuck, man?
Now, you've seen most every seminal punk band. You've seen Minor Threat, SSD, Dead Kennedys. Any band you missed, or a show that you never forgave yourself for missing?
Oh, a couple. There's 2. It's mentioned in the book. And once again, it's because of being a stupid kid, 15 or 16 years old. And we wanted to see Oingo Boingo. Me and Glenn, the aforementioned Glenn from elementary school. And we're in line at Montgomery Ward, which was a big department store. And that's where they sold Ticketron. You had to go get a ticket, right? Like a printed out ticket. You couldn't get them online once again. So we're standing in line for Oingo Boingo. We bought the 10-inch like in 80, 81. We're like, oh, this is cool. Weirdo, new wave, awesome band. They're playing at the Whiskey. And there's girls in front of us, like, cute girls, probably a couple years older, into goth or Susie. And they were making fun of Oingo Boingo without them knowing that we're buying tickets. And we're like, are we not cool if we buy tickets for Oingo Boingo? So we didn't get them. And then we got tickets for the Dickies, which was my first show at the Whiskey. But I really regret not seeing Oingo Boingo. And I never saw Black Flag, because they had the reputation that if you don't fit in, if you don't look right, you get your head shaved, which is all verified. I've seen that. Or germs burn, or you get cut, or whatever. Black Flag had a reputation of being a really brutal band, and you better fit in. Like it was mayhem. So I never saw Black Flag back then.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. I didn't realize that. That seems to be an ironic omission. I've seen all the other ones. I've seen Fear and Dead Kennedys and Circles, and all the other ones that have a reputation. I don't know. You just don't think you're a kid, and you're
you succumb to peer pressure, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. So there was never a path for you outside of punk rock, it doesn't sound like. There was never any career outside of selling records and kind of being part of the punk community. Is that fair?
Kind of. Well, yeah, that's fair. I've always been someone to do it myself, right? And I mentioned stories in the book. And I was going to school, which I thought would be interesting to be a school teacher, because that runs in my family: mom, dad, uncle, grandmother. So I was going to school, but going to junior college for 8 years means you're not really serious, as I was doing the mail order and working tables and making pizzas. And I just, one day, I finally got an AA that I was going to San Bernardino to continue. And I'm like, yeah, if you're going to do this mail order thing, do it. So I just got up and walked out of class and said, fuck this. I'm just doing this. And my whole goal then and now, success is pay rent, buy pizza anytime you want. That defines success. And I can do it most days.
So you started mail order originally. How long were you doing mail order before you got the shop, the storefront?
Oh, God. I started the mail order out of my apartment, which is right down the street, in 88. And the label came the next year. 8 years until I opened the store. 8 years. Barely getting by, living on credit cards, the whole bit.
Okay. And with the store, with everything under the Doctor Strange moniker, have you ever heard from Marvel or anyone about using the Doctor Strange name?
No. I know. Someone just asked me that question yesterday at the store. No. And I was clever enough to get the name Doctor Strange when the internet first came out. I got Doctor Strange Records. I got drstrange.com. And they've never come back to me. And that was before they reinvented the character of Doctor Strange. I got the name Doctor Strange. I mean, I mentioned it in the book, going to a thrift store in Pomona, which is right next to the cathedral where this big summer bash is. It's just right there. Mm-hmm. And walking around, I saw a comic book called Doctor Strange. Never heard of it. And I'm like, that'd be a cool name for a store. That was probably 85 or 86. And then a couple years later, I started the mail order. And I'm like, oh yeah, Doctor Strange. That's a cool name. Never read the comic. I still haven't read the comic. I've seen the movies because I like that stuff, but I've never been approached. And there was a part of me that said, I wonder if I should approach them and see if they'll pay me for the website.
No.
And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, no, that's a stupid idea. That's owned by Disney. They'll just annihilate you. And like, I don't want the headache or the money. So I just stand back and just keep my fingers crossed for the last 37 years.
Fly under radar. That's
what I'm trying. Yeah.
So with your record label now, you've been putting out records since, what was your first record? 89. Okay. 89. All right. Yeah. Do you have an ethos or something that unifies your record? What makes you want to put a record out? Is there any conditions or things that need to be satisfied in your mind to put out a record?
100%. Put out good music from good people. Whether or not it sells, that's secondary, because you never know. I put out a lot of records I thought would die, and a lot of records that I thought would sell. It's just the opposite. So you just got to put out what I like, because I'm not going to be a used car salesman and say, oh, this is a great record, when inside I'm like, it's not really that good. I don't want to sell you on something. So you have to get behind it and say, like, I really like this record, and here's why you should get it. And if you don't like it, I'll give you your money back. And that's still true today. And these are good people. And I've only been burned a couple times. And I mentioned that in the book. So out of all these years, 36 years of doing the label, I still talk to those guys, except for a couple, because they're dicks. And that's just the way it is. But yeah, it's just good music, good people.
Now, what is the most popular record that was put out on Dr. Strange Records?
Easy. Voodoo Glow Skulls and Skank and Pickle. Mm-hmm. The more popular records, like I put out the first Face to Face and I put out the first Guttermouth, and those were really big too. But then because of greed, not by me, but from them, greed of money, greed for fame, they went off the deep end and, and ruined a friendship, and they didn't have to do that. But yeah, Voodoo and Skank and Pickle, those records I couldn't keep in stock. And that was when, you do vinyl, CD, and cassette, and they would sell tens of thousands, if not more, actually more. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I had a good distributor too, which was a fair and honest distributor that you could trust.
What is the rarest or most valuable record put out on Doctor Strange Records?
Oh, I don't know. One man's treasure is another man's junk. I'd probably say Face to Face, like one of the weird colors of Don't Turn Away. Because back then I had a record plant. It was called Alberti, which means nothing, 40 miles away. Mm-hmm. And to save time, because I'd always do, and I still do, colored vinyl. So I'm like, do the first 500 on a color. But back then, to save time, I would say do next available color, which means you got a lot of different colors that even I don't know about because they're pressing them in Monterey Park and they ship them to the distributor in San Francisco. And I would take like 50 at that time. So I don't even know the colors. And there's colors out there that I don't even know. Like someone had a colored Rhythm Collision record. And I'm like, oh, never seen it. Never knew about it. So, and there's no way to log that in because Alberti's out of business and I have no idea. So it's got to be something like that. Okay. On my label, at least.
You have a lot of records that come through the store. What makes one go into your personal record collection?
That's a good question. Usually they don't. And so I have a rule with myself, but I always say I'm a recovering addict, not with drugs, but with records. And I am, because all my money, man, it was spent on records. And I'm sure most people can relate to that. And when I opened the store, I'm like, I can't do this because I'm going to keep all the good records and I'll go out of business. That happened to my friend, Bob Surin. He had a store in Florida and he kept all the records for himself. And lo and behold, went out of business. So my rule, I stopped cold turkey. It's okay if I take a non-rare record because I can reorder that. But if I take a rare record, and I started doing that once in a while, not a lot, maybe like once every few months, I'll take a rare record. I had to trade something from my collection of equal value. That's how I keep things in check.
Ah, okay. All right.
So I still get off on people buying a record. They're like, oh, I've been looking for this forever. And it's like, oh, that's great. I get that high.
Yeah. What are some of the rarest records that have come through the shop?
Oh man, name it. The Teen Idol 7-inch on Discord Records #1. All the Misfits 7 inches, some autographed. Sam Hain colored vinyl, autographed by Glenn. It's been such a long time ago, but mostly the Discord stuff. Discord stuff is super hard to get, super sought after. We've had every Discord record except for the government issue one, Legless Bull. I don't even know if I've seen that. And I bought those records when they came out. The Minor Threats. My friend got the Teen Idols at Toxic Shock, but I don't think I've ever seen the government issue one. Okay. Those Discord stuff, yeah.
Is there a holy grail that you're personally looking for?
I'm looking at it. No, I can't think of one. I mean, like my favorite bands are Stiff Little Fingers and the Dickies. I love so much stuff, but I have all that stuff. 999, I have all that stuff. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. It's like, I got to have this record. No. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there is. I just can't think of it.
Fair enough. And you have, and I've personally benefited through this Live Strange twice a week. It's Wednesdays and Fridays, 4 p.m. Pacific. Is that right?
Yeah.
And where you spend several hours sharing records, selling records, drinking beer. The bill at 6 p.m. is a little bit looser than the bill at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
But it's 2 hours of records twice a week. How did that rhythm start? How did you start doing this Live Strange?
Oh, man. I don't know. How long has it been? 9 years? Oh, yeah. It's been about 9 years. Yeah. And it started on Facebook. This is before Instagram was around.
It wasn't a pandemic thing then. It was well before that.
Oh, it was before that.
Okay.
The pandemic made it twice a week. Mm-hmm. So we just started doing it on Facebook and you had a 30-minute limit. So just started doing it. And then Instagram came about, or the pandemic first, I forget. And then people were bored and had money and time. And they're like, oh, you should do it twice a week. I'm like, really? Who wants to see this? I always think it's stupid because I'm just making fun of people's moms and dumb jokes and my mouth, your balls. Let's make it happen. Stupid sound effects. But I'm like, all right, that's cool. I'll do it twice a week. So Wednesday and Friday. And it's a lot of fun. And then, we do like bits. I love doing skits. I have different characters. I haven't done that in a while, but Rock and Rory and I don't know, who else. poops a lot. I don't know, it's just I love doing skits. Jerry from up the street, he's like some disgruntled Vietnam vet. I haven't known that guy in a long time. So we just started doing skits and showing records because I understand the entertainment part of it. And I understand, like, you know, being a kid, watching repeats of Soupy Sales, just the wackiness. That's part of my personality. I exaggerate it a little bit, maybe, but it's still me. And I really enjoy doing it. It's a lot of fun. And I get to see people. That's how I met you. And I get to meet so many people all around the world, which started off with the mail order. With a printed catalog. Like I met a buddy, Stanley Smith, in Scotland, and we became great friends, and he's been here and I've been there, and that's punk rock, man. That's just such a good thing. The pen pal is now the virtual pen pal, and everyone's welcome, and they don't have to buy anything. I just like them tuning in. I make fun of them, and they have a good time.
It is fun. It's in the middle of my day here in Australia. And
Yeah.
when I'm working or I'm doing something, all of a sudden I see, oop, Live Strange is on. It's like, this is I need to sneak away for a little bit of a laugh.
Lot of people.
Yeah,
a lot of people sneak.
And you've got the cowbell. Now the cowbell is a guarantee. How does that work when you cowbell something?
Oh yeah, cowbell. If I ring a cowbell, the cowbell, we have a couple. That means if you buy it, you don't like it, you can send it back. Because I only cowbell something I really, really like. You know, like this is a great record, and I'm trying to introduce people to maybe a new band or one that they like, essential record. So if I cowbell it, you don't like it, send it back, refund, postage. You have nothing to risk.
And do many people take you up on that?
Yeah, once in a while. They used to, I don't know. It seems like they used to more. Do they? I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a
Whatever.
good sign. Your stamp of approval on that. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's just stupid and fun.
Yeah. Oh, no, it is very fun and very stupid. But so are you starting to see like changes in the record collector landscape? Like, for instance, hoarding or people that are going to multiple versions of the same record? What sort of things are you starting to changes you're starting to see?
Well, I don't know if that's a change, but yeah, hell yeah. Because like I mentioned before, being a recovering addict, a record addict, there are a lot of true addicts, drugs and alcohol. And I see that all the time. And I can mention people too. And they've been sober for 5 years to 15 years. Their new addiction is records. So now they have to get to pacify or to satisfy that, you know, that desire. Every copy, one record, you know, like whatever, the Dickies, incredible shrinking Dickies. But I need it on black and blue and yellow and orange and this pressing. It's the same fucking record. And I might pick one or two bands to do that with, but they are just ravenous and they can get real shitty. If someone else got the record before them, I've seen that too. It's like, it's just a fucking record. But I can relate to that. I can relate to that as a kid. Cause like, I wouldn't tell my friend Rob, I found a new record store in Covina that had great stuff. I wouldn't tell him because I want all the records. So it's very competitive. It's very petty. It's very stupid, but I'm thankful for it because it keeps me buying pizza and paying rent. I mean, it's the truth.
Well, do you have a record that you consider tippy top, something that you collect multiple copies of or just couldn't live without? Just
the Dickies. Like I have a test pressing and colored vinyl, maybe Stiffle of Fingers, and that's probably really it. Maybe 999. But the Dickies is the number one. I have a couple different colors. You know, I know the stupidity of it, but I also love it. So it makes you happy.
That was your first show too.
Records behind you, I guarantee you have multiple copies of the same.
Oh yeah. Some on purpose, some by accident. I'm getting old and addled, and I can't always remember exactly what I have, which is another problem.
Well, you get old.
Yes, 100%. When's the last time you kicked someone out of the store?
That is a weird question because it just happened. Yeah. We have a character, and I've known him for decades, at least 20 years, and he's one of those troubled people. We call him Buzz because he's always drunk, and you may have seen him actually at one of the events. This guy is fucked up beyond belief, and he's driving, and he's blah, 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 blah. He sounds like one of the Sesame Street characters. He is annihilated. And the last time he was there, He's throwing his shirt off. He's at an event, like just walking around like Conor McGregor, blah, 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 blah. And he goes inside the store and he's trying to get out the door. He's pushing on the door when it's a pull door, and blood throws up all over the fucking door. I'm like, oh, goddamn, this guy. So we had to kick him out finally. He came in just a couple weeks ago. We're like, oh, Buzz, sorry, you're banned. He's like, what? What happened? What do you mean? What do you mean? He's been banned from other places. I know for a fact. He had no recollection of that.
Not the first time he's heard those words.
I saw him at Dollar Tree last week. He's like, oh, Bill, I'm sorry. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it's okay, whatever. Yeah. He's a pain in the ass.
I'm getting kicked out of Dollar Tree now.
I know. He's going to kill somebody. I cannot believe that guy drives.
Oh, dear. Yeah.
Annihilate.
So, Summer Bash is coming up.
Man.
Where can people learn more and get tickets?
Well, the Rod is working on a website right now that will be attached to the Doctor Strange one with FAQs, frequently asked questions, VIP. Tickets are selling and they are for sale, but giving people more information. And I just talked to Gallo, the guy that's in charge of the bank. And so hopefully tomorrow we can release the entire lineup. So not on our website yet, but the Cathedral, Eventbrite. That's where the tickets are.
All right.
Head over to Instagram or Facebook. Check the links in the bio.
Oh yeah, go to Facebook or Instagram. All the links are in ours. But so far we have people confirmed. One from Australia, South Africa, Canada, Texas, Arizona, Illinois. I think that's all that I know of.
Is that Doc Disc? Doc Disc from Illinois?
Doc Disc from Illinois.
Oh, yeah.
Neil from Punk Till I Die. Those are all confirmed tickets. Confirmed Airbnb. So it's going to be a great show. It's going to be, one thing about Doctor Strange and these events, it's a family affair. It's going to be fun and a lot of hugging and a lot of fluffing and a lot of swallowing going on.
Do you think Poops the Clown will make an appearance?
Poops might be there.
Okay.
I'm making a son right now in my back end.
Poops Jr.
Yeah.
Okay.
He stinks. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a blast. Tickets are selling. And I know once we announce this other big band, they're gonna go.
Oh, wonderful. I can't wait to be there. Again, May 23rd, 24th, Pomona, California. Secure your tickets, your Airbnbs now. There'll be links in this episode page. Hopefully Rod's website will be up, and I'll link that to it so you get all the information there. But Bill, again, I so admire the operation you have there and what you've done with Doctor Strange. It does feel like a family. It's a perfect word.
Is.
And just every time I fly into town, I love hanging out in Rancho Cucamonga, getting donuts and tacos with you guys. I'm really looking forward to a few days of punk rock and hot sodomy. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
yes, hot sodomy. Oh, speaking of which.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, well.
You've grown a second butt.
Right?
Yeah. Oh dear, you bring out the 9-year-old in me. So guys.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Nate, the vinyl guy. Appreciate you. Love you. And I will see you sometime soon. Few weeks. You're always welcome.
I appreciate
I got your room right. Your room is right there, buddy. Right there.
Ooh.
I mean, right here.
Looks.
Nate, you can stay with me.
No, he has to ask for whatever staying. He's staying with me. He's staying with me.
There's enough of me for both of you. Let's do a throuple.
Stop. Oh, God.
Oh, I love that man. He is so fun and such a good heart on him too. Again, Summer Bash, May 23rd, 24th, Pomona, California. 2 days. It's going to be wild. It's going to be fun. It's going to be something to remember. Pick up your tickets now. Links are in this episode page, and I hope to see you there. And that's it for this episode of The Vinyl Guide. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks to everyone who's sharing these episodes on social media, putting them on Reddit forums and Facebook groups. Of course, those of you who are leaving us positive reviews on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, well, a big kiss for you. Mwah. And especially those of you who are listening on our Patreon feed, supporters of the show. I got more than a kiss waiting for you, let me tell you. We'll be back shortly with a brand new episode. So until we talk next time, behave yourselves, and thanks again for listening to the Vinyl Guide podcast. Cheers.